Horror Deconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's Horror Deconstruction. You can find us at horrordeconstruction on tumblr.com, youtube.com/horror deconstruction, as well as facebook.com/the horror deconstruction with your host Comp and
The Sunflower Samurai.
and today's film is
Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2.
Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. It's a It's said it's a comedy slash horror. I don't know about that.
I don't think they were going for comedy.
It's directed by
became
Lee
one.
Harry, a two-named gentleman. It's written by Michael Hickey, who did the characters, Paul Kaimi, who did the characters, and it's written by, I don't know, somebody wrote this shit. Stars,
Screenplay was written by Lee Harry, and the story.
Okay, stars Eric Freeman, James Newman, and Elizabeth Kaitan. And I gotta say, I didn't think I was gonna like this as much as the first one, which I don't. But I think it has its merits as a sequel, because it's...
It has its merits as so horrible that it's funny.
Yeah, I gotta say, they found an actor who was worse than the guy in the first one, and
He's so much worse.
and I think he's
unbelievably bad.
But I think he was worthy to wear the Killer Santa costume. I think he was, because he's you don't think so?
I mean, I guess so, but like,
'Cause listen,
what a bad movie.
Because the first one, it was Billy, right?
Yeah,
and Billy had
and now it's Ricky.
Billy in the first one was, and believe me, if you watch the second one, the first fucking 40 minutes is clips from the first movie. And
I mean, it was unbelievable.
yeah, right. So the first movie, we had Billy, who was a guy who his parents were killed by a serial killer dressed up as Santa Claus. Which I guess they shot it as a movie for Ricky to watch when he was older. Somebody was shooting a snuff
Right, he
film.
recalls every detail perfectly.
No, but also remember when he went to the movie theater? They showed the Santa killed the guy from the first movie, so he was basically watching the first movie in the theater. It's very meta. It's a very complex film. But anyway, Billy in the first film was a guy who went crazy because he equated sex and Christmas and Santa as as a punisher of people. So did that mean that his parents were... I mean, we already did this review, but did that mean his parents were evil as well? Did they deserve to die? Because it didn't seem like they were naughty people.
I mean,
I'm getting
who
too
knows
deep.
what he thinks.
But anyway,
Yeah, you're getting too deep.
in the sequel, we start out in a prison with a psychiatrist, or I don't know what the hell he is. He's this movie's so stupid. He's interviewing Ricky, who is the younger brother, by 7 years, right? He's the younger brother of...
I think it was like by 5 years, because yeah, it's like 4.5 years, because Billy was 5 when his parents got killed, and the baby Ricky was a baby. So
yeah, so Ricky, his name is Richard.
Yeah.
I knew something was off because I remember they called him Richard in the first film, and then here they were like Ricky. I was like, Ricky's short for Richard? I guess it is. I never thought about it that way. I thought it was for Rick, but I guess I'm wrong. So there's Dr. Henry Bloom, and he's interviewing Ricky, asking him about, the murders that he's caused. And basically, he's telling the story of his brother from the first film, and I gotta wonder why that is.
It was I was reading it was because of budget constraints.
No
but
shit.
I'm telling you, like, I've never seen such lazy filmmaking.
It really is.
It was literally a half an hour of the movie, maybe more, was entirely
The
other movie.
I gotta say, the actual movie starts 40 minutes into the film, and by then you only have 40 minutes left of movie. And that really is how it goes.
It was basically showing the other movie with commentary.
Yeah, that's basically what it is, because it'll cut back to lengthy flashbacks. And it's not flashbacks, it's like scenes from the first movie, like the greatest hits.
Yeah.
And they really did have the greatest hits of the first film. Like, there was a kid punching out Santa Claus. There was I mean,
I was so happy.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, Danny must have loved this shit. But the thing is, I had just seen part one, so I was like, okay, I'm aware of this. So watching it right after the first one, I was like, this is kind of redundant, because I already saw that one. And after every scene, it'll cut back to Henry Bloom being intimidated by Ricky Caldwell, who, I gotta say, the actor Eric Freeman, he's so, like, over-the-top bad acting.
Oh, he
acts
is terrible.
He acts with his eyebrows. Kind of like, they say that who does that is that girl who plays Hermione in the Harry Potter movies. What the hell is her name? Everybody wants to fuck so bad. Who's that young girl?
I don't know.
Anyway, she's some actress that like acts with her eyebrows. Like every way she acts, her eyebrows are acting with her face, and he does that a lot in here. Like
Emma Watson,
right?
Emma Watson.
In this film, Eric Freeman's eyebrows have like a mind of their own, and like they're acting with him. You know what I mean? And he's like, well, my brother dressed as Santa Claus, and he killed. I mean, the acting is like the highest caliber of bad acting. Like I actually enjoyed his acting. Maybe even a little bit more than Billy. Yeah, because Billy's acting...
He is a worse actor than I am. I mean, that is, like, saying something.
Because Billy's acting was too... Like, he was a nice guy, and then he just became the Terminator, so there was no real him going crazy or angry. It was just him, you know, quiet and being a psychopath and being like, don't move, don't be naughty. Like, he was just quiet.
And they included that scene, too.
Yeah, they did, too. I love that.
Be quiet, be quiet.
It really... Don't be naughty. But in this one, Ricky Caldwell is like a maniac. Like he's like, what did he get? He got arrested for, he's basically saying what happened before, but he's mentioning murders that he did not get caught for.
But he was arrested. Who did he murder? I forget that.
His girlfriend and ex-boyfriend and a couple cops and people
the girl who had slept with that.
So in this one,
guy.
40 minutes into the film and we're not really like, I mean, there's nothing you're missing by watching the first 40 minutes. If you start the movie 40 minutes in, it's basically where the movie starts because he is at the tail end of talking about his brother's, you know, legacy and then how he killed a mafia goon with an umbrella. Once I saw him kill this guy with an umbrella,
and it goes all the way through him too.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck were they thinking? Like, were they serious with this? Because I mean, now that they say that it's listed as a horror comedy, I don't think they did it on purpose because it's kind of straightforward the way he kills people, and he has a girlfriend that's fairly lovely young girl played by Elizabeth Keitan, who plays Jennifer, and
she's super hot.
The trigger warnings for Ricky is the color red because the first one it was the Santa suit, and this one it's either seeing a nun and then seeing the color red is what makes Ricky go crazy because he saw his brother get decapitated, get shot to death in front of him when he was younger, and that's how the first film ended. They changed the actor for the kid for some reason. Maybe they didn't want to pay the kid more money because it's so funny because they show the actual first scene where Mother Superior's in the wheelchair, and then the camera.
You know what's a little side note here? The hitman, not the hitman, you know, the loan shark guy, who was actually a great actor.
Was he?
Is like, that was like one of his first movie. Basically, he had one other movie before that. And it, like, started his whole career. Like, yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. Like, he was in, like, Watchmen and Independence Day and, like, all this stuff.
You sure he was acting in those movies?
Yeah, I'm looking at the IMDb.
Wow, what happened? He must have took acting lessons after.
No, I thought he was great as that guy.
I didn't think anybody was good in this movie. But, he kills, like, a loan shark guy, and then he eventually ends up killing his girlfriend and her boyfriend. And he goes out on a night of rampage. Basically, like I guess it's the same thing in the first movie, but it's basically the last 40 minutes is Ricky going crazy. How would you explain Ricky's acting in this movie?
It's like I've never seen anything like it, honestly. Like,
I mean, did it make it enjoyable for you?
Oh yeah, no, it was enjoyable, but like, it is the acting maybe ever. Like, you know, like
it's really over the top because he's
like when you see Harry Russo, it is either the worst actor or the best actor. But this guy, it's the worst actor.
So,
you know?
There is that umbrella scene where he physically puts an umbrella through a guy and then it literally opens behind him like full, and then it starts raining. I guess that's the joke. And then the other part where they found a way to put another rape in this film, where a guy tries to rape his girlfriend. People like to rape their girlfriend in this fucking franchise, and he kills that guy by running him over, and the girlfriend says thank you and walks away. So he's Ricky in this film sort of is an Avenger until he starts going crazy in the streets. And
it was a nice change from the other girl hitting him in the face. I feel like maybe the writer of this movie took that criticism of the first movie, like, why did she hit him? Like,
right.
Was like, okay, I'll write that.
What did he's like, I gotta fix that wrong, but then I don't have to give a shit about the rest of this movie. What did you think of the garbage day scene? Like, because I explained to you in the first episode.
Yeah, no, you were right. Like, you did a better job explaining it than it was done in the movie.
Yeah. So to recap, what happens? There's a scene where he goes berserk and he kills a police officer who And what would you say? The cop walks up to him, right? And what does the cop do when he sees him killing the boyfriend and the girl?
Well, I don't even remember.
So the cop is walking around with his gun, and he's walking up to Rick. He goes, "Don't do nothing." And he's putting the handcuffs to him. Then he's like, "I know how to use this." Like it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like the way this cop is acting.
Was scared, and then he just grabs the gun out of his hand, which he could have just shot him.
And he points the gun towards him, like upside down to shoot him in his throat. But then magically the gun is pointing the right way to shoot, and so the gun switches in his hands in a magical way.
Maybe he
and
did
shoots
like
him.
some quick ninja move and flipped it around.
Put him in one frame of film, and he kills him. And then he takes the gun and he just starts walking around. He's shooting neighbors. Like there's a guy who says, "Hey, what's that rack?" Shoots him, and then
he does spare a little kid though.
And then he does spare because he goes, "It's all right," and the little kid goes away. So he's sort of a dark Avenger, I guess. Although those people, the crime of throwing out your garbage, I guess, makes you an evil person. I think that would make you a good person, throwing out your garbage. Can you do the garbage day line?
Recycle. They weren't recycling correctly.
Can you do the garbage day line, please?
Oh yeah. What is he? He's like, garbage day.
Because he just sees. I'm gonna have to explain that again because I explained it in the first review of the first one that we did that you can find in the archives. But in this one, there's a guy putting down a trash can, and what they did is the directors thought if a trash can is covering a guy who's off, like in the background of a scene, that means the person who's actually laying down the trash can can't see him either, even though he's clearly in the 3-dimension space where he can. So he puts the trash can on the ground, and then he appears, and the guy looks at him, and he goes, "Garbage day!" And he shoots him in one of the worst edited scenes I've ever seen in my life. Because he shoots him, and then he flies in three different directions and falls to his death. And then, Ricky's just running around shooting randomly at people, and then...
Maybe that was the point where they just gave up on the movie.
I like how the cops pulled the gun out on him, and then he goes to aim the gun in his head.
And they were like, "Don't do it!
Don't do it, man! It's not worth it, man!"
And they're like actually upset seeming, as if this is like their friend or something.
Another great thing is that Mother Superior's in the sequel... And
what does she have on her face?
I don't know. I guess if you have a stroke, your face mutates like the Toxic Avenger.
Right, you become like the Stannis' daughter in Game of Thrones or something.
Then you start teaching other people how to read, who get their thumbs chopped off. But with this, I guess the whole latter half, and it's so funny because the movie's so short. I'm basically reviewing the last 40 minutes of the film because that's where anything happens. And basically the last half of the film, they could have stretched out the movie to have him hunting down Mother Superior. That could have been a film. I guess they didn't have the money for it. Because Mother Superior is now in a wheel.
Why not?
Mother Superior is not.
It's not like a high budget movie. Why couldn't they have put a couple of scenes of him just walking?
I don't know, because Mother Superior is now confined to a wheelchair, and she has one of those little chairs that move up and down the staircase. If you had a wheelchair, why would you even want a 2-story apartment? That's just me asking. But
the first time I ever saw that was in Gremlins 2.
Right? Yeah, that's immediately what I thought about with the lady getting shot out the roof of her house. But yeah, so she's basically the last half of this film. It's like a lazy version of like not the guest. What's that movie? Where those 3 masked people hunt down like people in their house. Whatever the fucking movie that was called. It's basically a home invasion film. The last half hour, the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the film is because the movie runs really quickly after that. And Ricky's terrorizing.
His dialogue is horrible. When he's talking to the psychologist, or what's his name? Like Herman, what the fuck is his name?
Henry Bloom.
Henry Bloom. Yeah, that dialogue, and then the doctor himself, they're such bad actors. Like, the script is so bad, so part of it's that, but like, no, the acting is terrible.
And there's like a new nun that's going around to help him. I'm going to read some choice... quotes from this film, okay? Because we got to fill this episode out somehow. It's on the IMDb. So this is Ricky Caldwell. "You're a good doc, real good. But I know all the moves. I could squash you like a bug. You don't frighten me, Ricky. Not yet." And that's me doing better than him. He's that
probably was better than him.
Ricky does say punish, so his girlfriend says, "I hate you, Ricky. I hate you. Punish." And then the girlfriend literally goes, "Boop. Uh-oh," and then he kills her. I mean, it's that kind of...
oh, man, you're right. She does do that.
Let's see some other quotes. Ricky Caldwell: "My old lady couldn't afford to send me to college, so I got a job. I was washing dishes, dumping trash, all that sort of shit. I think you're going to like this next part. It sounded like some squirrel getting his nut squeezed.
Do you know what the tagline of this? Well, there's two taglines, but this is one of the worst taglines I've ever seen. Prayers won't save you in the silent part of this night. ...
That is horrible.
The nightmare is about to begin. ... Again.
He did take care of Mother Superior, which was a thread that I'm glad they fixed from the first one. Oh my god, this is a bad movie. I don't even know what else to say about this movie, but it's entertaining for the last 40 minutes. I literally was fast forwarding through the flashbacks because I knew.
I was just playing video games and kind of like half paying attention because I just couldn't believe. Like at first I was paying attention, but it just kept going. I was like, I've already seen this. What is this?
And the thing is, I enjoyed the first movie, but I don't want to see it again in another film, kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
And I did like how they changed the first Ricky from the first film because he was like a little kid at the end, and they gave him somebody with a deeper voice in the sequel. He's like, Ricky? And I was like, who the fuck is that supposed to... I mean, not Ricky, Billy. And I was like, who voice is this? I was like, this is like a grown man doing this kid's voice. I don't know what else to say. He does survive. I mean, well, he sort of survives at the end of this because he gets shot by the cops, just like his brother was. And his eyes open at the end because he starts laughing. Well, how would you explain his laugh in the movie?
Oh, it's horrible. He's horrible. Like every other aspect of
Google
it.
He's like... He laughs like that, like really hollow laugh, and you're like, what the fuck is going on with this actor, Eric Freeman? But apparently,
it was like he was on bath salts or something before filming.
He does return for Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3 because I think oh
really?
They do a different route with Part 3. Apparently, like there's a psychic girl who tries to revive him for some reason because the cops want to talk to Ricky Caldwell for whatever reason. They don't leave the guy alone. Right. Part 4 is about witches, so it has nothing to do with any of the Santa Claus murders. And then
so Ricky's not even in it?
No. And then Part 5 deals with a guy who makes evil toys that kill people. And I think Ricky and I guess a girl from Part 3 have a cameo in that. So I would probably just skip Part 4. I don't think we're going to do Part 3.
Part 3 sounds like it could be funny with the psychic.
I hope so. You would hope so in this kind of film, but I don't know. This series... I kind of feel like they might have shot their load with the first two films. But with that, Danny, what rating would you give this film?
It's so hard because it is so bad that it's good.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to just give it a bad rating. Oof. I'm gonna give it it's not nearly as bad as that Birdemic movie. I'll give it like a 4.
Okay.
Out of 10. 4 out of 10. As you age, getting some kind of like horrible tumors and growths all across your face for no reason.
I'll give this movie a 5, a little bit better than yours. A 5 out of 10. This movie is so stupid. A 5 out of 10. Oh god, there's so many good parts in this movie, but it's a bad movie. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a bad movie, but the last 40 minutes save it, so it's watchable. Mm-hmm. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Grabbing your girlfriend's ex-boyfriend while he's wearing his shades and electrocute him in the mouth. That was a lot of time to execute that guy, right? With the electricity, it took a little bit long to kill that guy. So with Danny, with that, what's the final word?
Happy New Year.
The horror deconstruction.